politics is in the air. We'll get to see a lot of a mix of all of these going on. And we have joining us Charles Idaho, a journalist, and he's one of our regulars to help us to analyze papers in the studio. Charles, good morning.
Yeah, glad to be here.
It's nice to see you.
That's right.
Glad to have you, Ken.
Yes, thank you.
So we might have a political Christmas.
Oh, okay.
No, don't go there.
Okay, fine, don't go there.
Let's begin with the punch this morning. The big story here. Our work against Ogun APC governorship candidate says Amosun, governor's loyalists defect to APM. It's an interesting situation playing out in Ogun. The governor is contesting senatorial position on the platform of the APC, and he's saying that he's not going to support the party's gubernatorial candidate. How exactly is that going to play out?
That's anti-party activity. I mean, there are laws against that. When you engage yourself in activities that are antithetical to your own party, I mean, there's a punishment. Even yesterday also, within the week, I mean, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, about 26 other APC members who contested, I mean, several, most of them wanted to be House of Assembly members, so about 26 of them also defected to APM. That's the new bride in the state now.
But he said he's going to work for the victory of the president.
So which means he is now pursuing the aspiration or helping to pursue the aspiration of an individual, but forgetting that an individual is resting on the platform of a party.
No, but the point there is, how do you separate the individual from the office? Because the office has to be occupied by the individual.
That's what I'm saying, because
so if he's going to work for the victory of the president, it is still the office of the president for his political party.
No, but if he's saying all those things, you know, people who voted in 2015 for President Muhammadu Buhari, they said they didn't vote for APC. Okay. But they voted for the president. But when the president won, it's APC that won.
You know, I'm wondering right now how the party...
In the eyes of the law, it's the party that won.
It's the party that won. They had their own ticket.
Exactly.
I don't know exactly how the party intends to deal with this, given the fact that the window to substitute candidates have already closed from INEC.
That's right.
But let's move on, and we'll talk about that subsequently. An interesting picture on the front page of the Punch this morning. A suspected impersonator who goes by the names Mrs. Amina Mohammed and Justina Oloa, accused of using the office of the wife of the president to defraud people, paraded by the Department of State Services in Abuja. So trying to cover her face, but there's another picture of her right
I saw the video of her yesterday, which tried to
yes, exactly. It's not the first time to have imposters of the
But you know that a lot of people make a lot of money when they walk around the president or they walk around the
presidency,
especially when you are connected one way or the other to the president, through the wife or through anybody. A lot of people make money. They say, don't worry, you want to see the president maybe for a contract, just pass with somebody. I understand that time, though not confirmed, that even during Jonathan's era, a lot of people were charging up to about 50 million naira to have their names on the sheet to see the president.
Exactly.
In most cases, I mean, even if you indeed successfully see the president, you may not even see the president for more than 3 minutes. Okay, how are you? Okay, don't worry, your letter will be signed and so on. 50 minutes, 50 million naira gone.
Wow.
That's
and you can't come back to ask.
No, you can't come back to ask.
But it also tells you, apart from those who make the money, it also tells you the greed behind those who give the money.
No, a lot of people, look, you see, the thing is that the belief is that once you are able to see the president, your bread is buttered.
Yeah, but the issue there is, if you are going to pay money, it means you're ready to go not the right way.
To compromise.
You want to shunt the line, or you want to compromise, or you want to get there through the back door, as the case may be.
There is a system that exists, and that's what they're operating with.
Well, the system is wrong, so when it falls, you fall alongside.
So, but they're not complaining.
I like that.
Charles, are you sure they're not complaining?
They are not complaining, that's why they're still doing it.
Okay.
All right, let's see other stories here. Don't attack Malian headsman. Mayeti Allah once believes others. $8.4 million fraud. EFCC arranged 2 oil marketers, 5 companies. And on the top corner of the Punch, vote PDP so that we can all have food to eat. That's coming from former President Jonathan.
Wow.
Musician, small doctor, 3 others arrested for possession of firearms. This looks like
that one is very sad.
playing the penalty to throw.
Yeah, over. We had the same over. But you see, even in November here, about 2 weeks ago, from about November 27, they had a show at the Agege Stadium. Allegedly, the guy also shot into the air, and then about 4 persons were wounded. But what I keep saying is that if you lived a life of a gangster, and then now you are now in the limelight, it's a bit to be careful. Even some of us who are not even who are 3-star, okay, even 1-star celebrity, for instance. There are certain things, there are certain ways I behave outside. I go into a restaurant.
You are a role model already.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
But mostly, people recognize, oh, that's Charles there. Oh, this is it. I am very careful. You understand? But these are people who are mega stars and who are supposed to be role models to even younger ones.
It also reflects the quality of society, the kind of people we call stars, because beyond just being able to sing, there is a measure of,
There's a minimum standard.
I mean,
but that's what I'm saying, that once you are there...
You can't measure that, because the point there is, there is no screening somewhere.
If
you're going to become a star, you go through the screening to pass to become a star. The point there is everybody grew up the way you want
what
to
I'm
grow
trying
up,
to say is that
and then you had your skills, you had your talents, and then you had all of those.
And then you are up there.
And then you are up there.
They can't manage it.
Exactly. Nobody.
When you scrutinize what they sing, for instance, and then you begin to see them being endorsed, for children parties and all of that, then you begin to question what we celebrate as
what people should do once they're in the limelight, and knowing that a lot of people follow, a lot of people lean on what they do heavily, they should be role models to them.
Well, it's okay. We see how this is going to play out, because he had a pending case
exactly.
At the
this
CID,
firearms,
and then there's still
another one again.
The concept of firearms. I wonder what.
And it's a rifle, not even.
And you need to see the body language of those arrested. One of them was, posing for the camera. It's
so
a
which means they're
not remorseful.
They're not remorseful at all.
But let's wait to see how the law will take its course as far as this is concerned. The Nation newspaper is our next one now. The Economist tips Buhari for victory in 2019 election. Atiku kicks as magazine predicts anti-president coalition will collapse. All right, the point there is, when all these predictions come up and politicians are taking them very seriously, I wonder if these organizations are those to vote.
No, but they will look at indices. And then they try to engage in the permutations.
The permutations.
And then, as you said, if people believe in those permutations, you just go back to sleep. That's a problem, because I'm an analyst. We are all journalists. We see certain things. I could decide to say, oh, with the huge crowd of Atiku yesterday, Atiku has conquered Northwest. Then you now say, okay, because a lot of people came, some of them they want to see. Then you now say, okay, that's victory for you. And it is wrong, because there is still work to be done.
That's right.
So that's why I say all these are permutations in the eye of whoever is seeing it. My perspective is different from your perspective.
So you also
don't rely on somebody's perspective to say that's victory for you.
You begin to wonder what role foreign countries play in our election. It was the former president in his book, My Transition Hours, who insinuated that the former U.S. President Barack Obama, ad campaign,
softly.
One way or the other, influenced, him losing that election.
But you can't. We are putting it in a global village, as it's called. Whatever happens, don't look at it. Even most of them, they look at the president they feel can even be more, how do I say that? When you're talking about international politics and diplomacy, they also look at candidates who will also help them. Most of them want to come into Nigeria.
Sellable candidates.
Exactly, that's it. So it's about branding.
All right.
Yes.
Well, words from the two major political parties here. Now, PDP is a damaged product that has thrown up a discredited candidate. We commend the Economist. That's APC saying that. And then PDP is saying, with or without the endorsement of the Economists, we will defeat Buhari fair and square.
Well, how do you even commend the content of the Economist? Because the full detail says if the incumbent wins, it also paints a very bad image of what will happen.
But let's see how things play out. The ultimate power belongs to Nigeria.
To Nigeria, who own the mandate. The mandate they are going to surrender.
Who are going to vote and decide who becomes president of Nigeria. So let's leave the others.
These are permutations.
Oh yeah. Now, Africa Development Bank, stretched $200 million for Nigeria's power sector. We're still expecting more funds.
Badly needed. But I think the issue of PACN being in the hands of some individuals and companies should be reviewed. You remember what happened in Benin 2 weeks? Last week or so,
exactly.
when the governor walked out. If you go to Benin, I just came back from Benin. If you go to Benin, Benin is practically in darkness. Not even Benin. Edo State. I was in Edo, say for a weekend. We had light for just about a couple of hours. You understand? And that's not how it's supposed to be. How will companies grow? We're talking about even agriculture. You know, the agriculture has value chains. So if you want to start extracting, you need electricity, you need power. So if you are beginning, if you continue in this regime of darkness, there's no way we can grow beyond this point we're in.
All right. One disturbing headline here says a Ilorin final year student commits suicide.
Yes.
Now, this report says that the student got a two.
No, he has a grade of 2-1. Yes, 2-1.
Second class
grade,
upper
yes.
in the final exams, but he failed his project, which brought him back to second class lower.
Yes.
And he had to take sniper.
Yeah, but here he's saying that a lot of people were saying that he plagiarized that.
There was a copy and
that
paste situation.
For him to fall from grades were 2-1 to 2-2. That was not quite acceptable. But I was saying that. How could you have ended your life at 10?
Exactly on that ground.
Perhaps we're not also teaching the right things in our educational institute. The fact that we seem to idolize the grades. I mean, in real life, who cares if you have a 2-1 or a 2-2? You even find out that most of the
people see it as very, very highly valuable.
Yes, but then the reality differs because most people who even come out with the best results, and then you look at their real results in life, it doesn't tally. I mean, why would someone take his or her life for that reason?
We have situations like that actually, because upon that, the fact that you have a first class and all of that doesn't
guarantee
give you that status that you have to be up there.
Like they say, if you look at the trend of world billionaires,
most of them don't have
either dropouts.
What's his name? The Microsoft man. He's not a first class. Then Facebook man is not first class. Jack Ma,
and all of that. So that's not the standard or the yardstick to.
I think it's about your drive in life. Even if you have a third class, for instance, and then your drive is superb, is very powerful. You don't give in to any negativity. You can make it in life.
I think all stakeholders must pay attention, especially parents who have a way of judging their work.
Exactly.
I think that's very true. Sometimes parents put a lot of pressure on their children. You have to be a first class. You know, that is not a bad idea. But the point there is you need to be able to balance it. Encourage the child. Bring out the best in the child when it comes to the skills or the personal, anything that the child has within himself. So it doesn't have to be book.
I was having a problem with my son. They used to have this overall, then grades began to drop. I said, okay, I now looked and said, how did I also contribute? Maybe I was no longer paying attention to it. So it's a very delicate balance, but we'll find a way to balance.
It's a really big loss there. Let's move on to Daily Sun. As Atiku flags off campaign in Sokoto 2019, PDP declares total war on Buhari, urges Nigerians to vote out president as ex-VP prays at Uthman Danfodio's tomb. Atiku bitter he doesn't have access to wealth as before. That's coming from the APC. How issue-based, really, has this presidential campaign been?
I think it's if you compare this to what, by this time, 2014, it's quite clean.
Because 1 minute we're talking about what the economist is talking about.
Comparative terms.
Comparatively, it's quite clean. Because then, mudslinging, people were directly attacking people's personalities.
But the point there is, campaigns just started about 2 weeks or so ago.
Two weeks into 2014.
Officially. No, but the issue there is, we were thinking, or Nigerians were thinking that we should have learned from 2015 or 2014 into 2015 and gone way beyond all these issues. And if you remember, there were same statements from PDP, there were same statements from APC saying, let us campaign based on issues. They have all said that before.
But what I'm saying now is that if you compare now, what you have now, this time, 2014, you see that we've moved, we've improved a whole lot.
Anyway,
as at this time then, people were already maligning people's personality.
But candidates are still rolling out.
Videos about Lion of Judah and all of them were already flying.
But if you go on social media, there are plenty of those as well already available.
But it's still cleaner. It's still cleaner, Mike. It's still cleaner.
But we shouldn't be satisfied.
We can be better.
We shouldn't be satisfied.
Well, let's hope it gets better
better
as we count down. The Sun also features a picture of the alleged imposter hiding under the table when she was paraded by the DSS in Abuja yesterday. DSS parades Aisha Buhari's impersonator, how suspects scammed businessman, others. 4 parties ask court to stop Buhari's assent to Electoral Act. Buhari drafts defense army chiefs to war zone. Let's talk about the Electoral Act. how feasible is this, perhaps seeing the light of the day before the 2019 election?
I think the president should assent to that because most of the gray areas he complained about have been settled by National Assembly. They went back to it and they rejigged it, and it's looking better. Even most of the things was complaining about, they're already there, they're already been implemented. So I think what you need to do is you need to just assent to that so that we can move on, because we need the success. The success of the 2019 election depends highly on all these things you find the items within the bill.
If you look at the specifications or the recommendations in that bill, it looks really objective and
very objective, and then also
should take us somewhere.
For instance, they're talking about having a special braille ballots. You also find a magnifying glass for those, the albinos and all of them. That's so these are issues that, so that those people will not always complain that you marginalize them. Imagine a blind man coming to cast his vote, and then you have braille ballot. Which is good.
Fantastic ideas. But
fantastic.
You're not talking about the order of election, which is also very pivotal.
Well, the order, I personally don't even want to talk about the order. Let us just have a clean system, whether the presidential first, whether the governorship first, but let us have.
But you know that there's a bandwagon when you have one before the other, and many people will say this is very critical to the success of an election.
Well,
so
bandwagon
that also
for whoever has the goodwill
exactly
to enjoy that.
Whoever has the goodwill, because sometimes it could spell
It's easy to say that, but anything happens during election.
No, the point there is, if you look at political trends, even right from 1993 or even in 1979, and all of that, if you look at the political trends at the time, what determines somebody winning? To a great extent, the goodwill of the candidate. That's why a political party will always shop for a sellable candidate. That when you throw the candidate, a larger number of people from across the board will have to buy in.
In 2014, for instance, if the APC hadn't shot for President Buhari, it was a brand that sold APC. It was a brand that made APC the darling of all at that time. Do you know? Because they shot for a candidate who they feel has the pedigree, who they feel has the name, who they feel has the antecedent.
And the goodwill.
And then the pendulum swung their way. Yeah. So I think that it's about the goodwill.
Exactly. But it doesn't mean it will be like that every time.
No, not every time.
Because we can have a situation where someone who doesn't have that
can also benefit, can also have it.
Exactly. So
it's 50-50.
It depends on whoever at the time.
All right, finally on the Daily Sun, court grants CFCC permission to arraign Desiani or mockery. That's on page 12 of the
Okay, Desiani issue still on. Vanguard newspaper is my last one here now. Oil price crash forces review of 2019 budget benchmark. Price firms up to $61 per barrel. LCCI and NECA react to this.
All the way from 80 down,
80 down, and it's going down.
Domino effect.
And then the economy is already reacting.
I think we discussed it here last week with Ngozi here. I said we need to be creative because the oil, petroleum product, the petroleum product is an international
commodity.
Commodity.
We don't have power over it.
So how can you lay so much on it when you're budgeting? Make the benchmark as low as possible. So even when it crashes, you can still.
Of course.
But when it's 60, you are making your benchmark as 44. It's very close. When it is 80, you're making as so it's very close.
Interestingly,
I am even thinking our benchmarks should even leave oil now, and we should benchmark based on taxes and based on revenues coming in from FIRS and even customs.
You know, we've been talking about diversification like forever.
Yeah, but we have diversified, but we have not totally. The economy is not based on this diversification. We are still
we're really diversified in real terms, but we're still leaning.
We're still leaning so heavy, too heavy.
So much.
Qatar have left petroleum for them, and it's selling for gas. Because of this issue
and besides that, Qatar is even, hoping to leave the OPEC.
No, that's not because he said because he'd be accused of the issue of funding insurgency and so. Qatar is the largest exporter producer of gas. So they say, okay, let's leave the petroleum and then let's settle for this.
One beautiful thing with Nigeria is if you go into gas We have it.
We have it in abundance.
If you're going into
Agriculture,
platinum,
you have
we have it
all
in
of them.
abundance.
But
You're going into limestone, we have it in abundance.
Tin.
Now that is we had an analyst here sometime that talked about when we were discussing the companies in Europe and in parts of Asia moving away from oil, coming up with cars that use batteries.
Yeah,
and electricity.
exactly.
We have what
we
it
have
takes
all
to
these
build
things
new batteries of all of the we have.
There's even a plant called Jatropha that we offer. You can even extract yourself. We have all these
Anyway,
things
for
there.
Jatropha, there are controversies around the plant Jatropha.
But we have there's
not
Jatropha
all
in my village.
environmentalists.
There's Jatropha in my village. Maybe if they started, I could just go and be farming.
Not all environmentalists are going to be happy with me.
If the challenge is not with what we have, then the big question is, what are we doing it exactly?
We're not being creative.
With
that's
what
it.
we have. Finally, this morning, the Daily Trust is here. Article flags of campaign promises inclusive government. History won't forgive us if we fail to change this government. Jonathan appears to be very active in this election. EFCC seeks arrest warrant for Daisani. Buhari, no country can confront climate change alone.
I agree.
And that's it.
All right, Charles, we must thank you so much for coming on the program this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to a great day ahead.
Oh, yes.
Right. Still ahead on The Breakfast.
It's 27 days to December. Of course, the third force deadline organized a label issued to the federal government for the commencement of 30,000 naira new minimum wage.
And just like 2016, Nigerians might celebrate another Christmas without fuel, as oil marketers have threatened to go on strike if the federal government does not pay them what it owes them, and they're requesting for about 800 billion naira. That's a lot of money.
Apparently, whilst the federal government is yet to find a common ground with ASU that has been on strike for 31 days now, ASUP is gearing to down tools. That's up next for discussion on TVC Breakfast.